Making sure that you listen to the content creators that you pay attention to and make sure that you're getting the information that's correct, first of all, from people that actually are doing their due diligence to find out all of the information, not just the piece that they want to show you.
What's up, everyone? Carolina Girl here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I see I have many new subscribers. Thank you. Thank you all for your support. I hope everyone has had a great start to the new year. I hope everyone's doing well. I have been chugging away on the truth train, trying to finish publishing the FOIA videos over there on TikTok. I'm almost done. I have about 10 left, I think. And of course, TikTok starts acting wonky. And so I said, the hell with it. I've got a video I need to make anyway over on YouTube. So here I am. I wanted to come to you tonight to talk to you about the Gypverse, of course. And there's three main key players here. We have Gypsy, we have her PR person, Bree, and we have her stepmom, Kristy. About a month or so ago, Bree found herself in an unfortunate situation. If you've been following this case and you've been around a while, then you know who Bree is, and you probably know the situation I'm referring to. Now, I don't really want to get into the situation itself, but I did want to talk about her name dropping, Gypsy. This is an excerpt of what the deputy put in his report. Now it says, now I did cross out her last name because the deputy addressed Bree by her last name. And I don't address Bree by her last name. I address her as Bree. So I crossed out her blackened out her name and put in Bree. Bree proceeded to respond in a hasty and nervous manner when asked where she was headed to or coming from. Bree advised she was headed southbound to a friend due to an emergency. When asked what the emergency was, she advised that she was a big advocate of Gypsy Rose and that she needed to get to Rose's sister. And then it proceeds to say she was unable to provide the deputy what the emergency, she couldn't provide him what the emergency was. And so, according to Bree, everything in this report is wrong. Now, this isn't the whole report. This is just an excerpt. Like I said, I'm not really trying to get into the whole thing. This is the only part that I was interested in because Bree and Kristy ended up going on a live about this. And so, but according to Bree, everything in this report is wrong. And the deputy must have misunderstood her. She said he had to be confused because apparently he had another call he went on after this. And so it was like 4 hours later that he did his report. And so everything was just wrong in this. And I imagine that the deputy has heard probably just about every excuse in the book, and probably not every excuse in the book, but he's probably heard his fair share of excuses trying to get out of things. And I imagine it's not his first night writing a report. You know, that's just my opinion, but you know, I'm pretty sure this isn't his first rodeo, you know. Now, this is Kristy and Bree. Like I said, they were on a live talking about this. And I actually watched this live over on YouTube channel, Watch Back Live. I will provide a link in my description box for you guys if you'd like to watch the whole live in full, because I just kind of clip things here and there. So that way I could talk about it. But they're basically talking about here whether Bree mentioned me or not.
Look, I just glanced at the chat. What's his name? High Five. Bree never mentioned going to Mia's. When I talked to the police officers, they didn't even tell me like, well, what she said she had it was emergency from Gypsy's sister, and they would have said that, then I would have corrected them right
I don't
then
even
there.
know why they even said, like, I was talking about my sister a few times. that's why, like, I don't know if that was the confusion, just like with the brother-in-law thing. I think, I don't know why. Like, I never mentioned Mia. That doesn't even make any sense. Like, why would I mention Mia?
Well,
So I didn't involve Mia. Like, you come in here so loud and fucking proud.
yeah.
Why
Right.
did you
They did have
involve?
it wrong, and that needs to be fixed.
It does need to be fixed because that's fucking annoying.
I wanted to pause it here real quick because note at the beginning of this clip, Kristy states Bree never mentioned Mia to the deputy. And then Bree, of course, she's saying she didn't mention Mia. Kristy seemed fine with that, but Kristy did just state that, of course, it needed to be corrected because she didn't mention Mia in the report. And it didn't technically mention Mia by name. It just said she needed to get to Rose's sister's house. But anyway, Bree keeps going, though. She doesn't end there. She has to keep going. Let's listen.
Annoying as fuck. You know how many people have asked me that shit today?
I'm gonna talk to my
And
little
like,
cousin.
and I love how you come in and you're like, why did you involve me during the rest? Let's just say, like, that's not what happened, but okay, because what if there wasn't? I'm like, you come in here, like, how do you, like, if that's what the report says, now the report's wrong, but what if it was right and you're coming in here like that? Like, what if there really was an emergency? If there wasn't, I don't even know why it says Gypsy's sister when I only spoke about my sister, but like, you're coming in here as if like you knew, like, wait, never mind. I think that person was actually at your house, Kristy. Never mind. That was my bad. Hey, high five. I forgot that you were at Kristy's that night. Okay, my bad. You know exactly what happened. I'm sorry.
They must be invisible because I didn't see them.
Like, coming in here so, like, I mean, that's not what happened, but what if that was what happened? And they come in here, why would you involve me? Like, what are you doing? Goodbye. God, I didn't know all these people were there. Like,
going on here. I don't get it. Leave Mia alone.
Listen to the way she reacted to a simple question. The deputy's report clearly stated Bree needed to get to Rose's sister. Let's look at that again. Right there at the very bottom, right above that black line, it says, when asked what the emergency was, she advised that she was a big advocate of Gypsy Rose and that she needed to get to Rose's sister. Now, my question is, how did the deputy know Rose had a sister? And he's referring to Gypsy Rose there. Bree says she mentioned her sister a couple times, and that's why she thought that, the deputy was confused. But my guess is I don't believe the deputy was confused. I believe Bree's confused, but I don't believe the deputy's confused. So anyone that reads this report, I mean, they can see that for themselves. So I thought in the beginning, Bree and Kristy's answers sufficed, but then Bree went off the deep end. I mean, there was no reason for her to act that way if she really didn't say that, in my opinion. If I had been Kristy, I'd be a little suspicious of whether or not she did mention Mia's name, especially after this clip.
What do you mean the audio clips are coming out? Sweetheart, what if this draft, like, you're going to wait around for 2 years, Jenna? What if this case lasts for 2 years? What if it keeps on? You never know. We might have COVID again. And then they're going to have to cancel courts. I bet you're
never brought it up to me.
You're going to wait around for 2 years.
I don't even think Mia knows what, like, because she never called me and said, hey, what's up, Mom? I didn't even tell Mia, or I didn't even tell them what happened that night.
I'm going to tell this person the same thing I told the last person. When these audios come out, if they ever come out, and when they ever come out, because you'll probably wait around for a decade for them, right? Just like I did with Gypsy. Guess what? Whether I lie, tell the truth, all in between, is none of your goddamn business, right? I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure. Like, is your life, like, please let me know if your life's going to change because of this. The mother of the person that y'all think I brought up it was literally there. It was a mistake, obviously written by the police. They must have meant my sister. And because Gypsy was brought up while I was there, they put Gypsy's sister. The mother of that person was there. The mother.
Let me pause that real quick, okay? Because here Bree is saying the mother of the person was literally there at the scene, and technically that's not true. The conversation that was had with Bree and the deputy, according to the deputy's report, that was had during the initial stop because Bree was stopped. And so Bree did call Kristy initially to come pick her up because she thought her car was being towed, or it was actually her car was going to be towed. And so Bree called Kristy initially to come pick her up. But by the time Kristy got there, Bree had been detained already. Let's finish listening to this.
Mia was at the scene of this arrest. So don't you think they would have been like, she's saying there's an emergency with your child. Is everything okay? Since I'm not able to make it there, because I'm getting arrested. Like, come on, y'all. Let's try to use logic. I know that's very hard for some of y'all, but, and again, none of this shit is really any of y'all's fucking business. But, I mean, if y'all want it to be your business so bad, there you go. If you don't want to believe it, I don't give a flying fuck. And like I said, I hope y'all think y'all getting. You do know the kind of footage they have, right? There's no body cams. I hope you know that. I was basically nowhere near, like, in front of like the unit or anything. So the only thing that y'all are probably gonna, if it ever comes out for y'all, is gonna be me when I'm in the fucking back seat, which I saw the camera literally while I was in there. So I mean, have fun with that, even though you probably never get it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna purposely. No, I can't do that to Sheena's burial fund. But
What are you gonna do? Hey, Aaron Sweet.
Bree is so bothered by someone mentioning the audio. If she did not say what is in that deputy's report, then she wouldn't care about what that audio has to say. But she's so bothered by that audio. See, now if that would have been me, now actually, Kristy, you should be very suspicious of what's in that audio because Bree wouldn't be acting like this if she didn't really say, what's in that deputy's report. Because had it been me and that was my situation and somebody said, well, that there's audio, I'd be like, great, because I didn't say that. And once the audio comes out, it should vindicate me because I did not say that. And so I welcome it. That's how I would have been. But instead, Bree wants to be, she's very hateful and rude and insulting to people. And she is right. I mean, it's really nobody's business. This is her personal business. If she wouldn't have been this big old advocate for Gypsy Rose, then it probably wouldn't have come out. And so unfortunately it did. I didn't put it out. It wasn't me, but it is out. And so I don't know, but I would be straight up. I mean, if you said it, Bree, I mean, it's natural to try to get out of shit. When people get pulled over, it's natural for people to try to get out of tickets or to trying to be arrested or whatever. I mean, people have all kind of stories, and the cops hear all kind of stuff. And so I feel like if you did say anything about Mia, you probably need to be straight up with Kristy and tell her you did, because I'm sure these audios are going to come out. Whether you like it or not, they're probably going to come out. And I don't know. Let's carry on. This next clip is Kristy explaining in her words what happened.
That night, me and Gypsy were in the living room, and Gypsy and Sheena were on the phone. And yes, my natural hair color is black. So when we decided who was going to go get Bree, I was like, I'm going to go because it was foggy too. Not a lot of fog. And when I got there, one of the officers came up to me, and the first thing I said was, I didn't know that y'all were forming a parade route to bring Bree to my house. And he kind of giggled, and I was like, then I said, how is she? Because I know she gets nervous. And he was like, she's all right. She, she was real nervous a while ago. And I was like, okay. And he's like, well, you can't get her. And I'm looking at him like, why? Really confused. And he said, well, we found a substance in her car. I can't tell you what it is, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, well, y'all doing a good job of making y'all quota, because it was almost the end of the year and Lindsay had got stopped on the way going home but they let her go. And it was just like, oh my God, freaking out, about it. And I was just real nice to them, and they, like I said, they were really nice to me, and I asked them if I could go and see Bree and just give her a hug, and they were like, no, we're about to, head out. Once again, we're sorry for you having to come out here. And I'm like, well, last thing I knew was Bree was on the phone with Gypsy on speaker, and saying, can somebody come get me? And I'm like, well, I'm going to go, because it would have took Gypsy like over an hour because she just drives slow. And then with the fog. And then when I got in my car, I called Gypsy immediately and then talked to her. And then I think she in turn called Sheena. And by the time I got home, they hadn't booked her yet.
No, not until like 1:30 in the morning, dude.
So note that Kristy stated that she wasn't allowed to see Bree, even though she stated in the very first clip that Bree never mentioned Mia. Like she knew that Bree, she was standing right there and she knew that Bree never mentioned Mia. She wasn't there. And she wasn't allowed to see Bree once she got to where Bree was at. So Kristy doesn't know if Mia was mentioned or not, and she's only going by what Bree told her. And I also found it interesting that when Kristy approached the deputies and they told her that Bree was being detained, and Bree was actually in the back of a deputy's car, Kristy wanted to start running her mouth. She says that she was nice to the deputies, but I guess telling them that, oh, as soon as that she found out Bree was detained, she's like, oh, so I guess you're trying to meet your quota. Yeah, that's being nice to a deputy. I mean, my mom always told me you get more flies with honey than you do vinegar. And so, I mean, if you're trying to get out of something or you're trying to help your friend, I wouldn't suggest running your mouth like that to, and being disrespectful, because to me, that's being disrespectful. In this next clip that you see, Kristy's reading the comments in the live, and someone asked her why she always talks about Dee Dee, or why she always put Dee Dee down.
Those videos, I still don't know their names. That's how much I paid attention.
Why
and I'm so fucking sick of her putting that shit.
I talked about Dee Dee, like what, on the HBO documentary I talked about her.
Yeah, you and Gypsy drag Dee Dee every day, even though y'all don't.
Where?
Yeah, you did. Exactly.
Show me the proof. I barely get on social media anymore, much less drag people.
What? I don't understand why.
Now, Kristy's, I don't see Kristy on a lot, but I'm not on TikTok a lot either, to be honest with you. So I don't really see her on a lot, and and if she is, I don't catch the lives. But every time I have seen her on social media, or every time I've seen her give an interview, I've heard her do nothing but bad talk Dee Dee or trash talk Dee Dee. This is a clip from Mommy, Dead, and Dearest. So, Kristy, you asked for proof about you bad mouthing Dee Dee. This is a clip from Mommy, Dead, and Dearest.
He was in the house somewhere, and Dee Dee was starving her. Like Dee Dee wasn't giving her anything to eat. I asked her sister, I was like, I hate to ask this, but you think Dee Dee had anything to do with her mom's death? And she, said, now I wonder.
Not only did you talk about Dee Dee, Kristy, but you accused this woman of killing her mother on national television. You accused her of starving her mother. Now, I don't believe that personally, but I do have to ask, was she the only one capable of feeding her mom? Where were Dee Dee's siblings? Because I think there was 6 of them all together. So where were Dee Dee's siblings at? Where was her father at? Way to make Dee Dee a villain there, Kristy. You say you don't talk about her. You surely did talk about her. Now, this is Dee Dee's mom's death certificate, and it's hard to read, but it is her death certificate. And shout out to Trixie Lane, because that's where I got it from. I took a screenshot from one of her posts or videos. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's over there on her page if you'd like to see what it was about. The manner of death was natural. And right there in the middle, under where the personal information is at the top, right there in the middle, you see like a little check mark, and it says, manner of death, and it's natural. So it was a natural death. And so down here, you got, let's see, going from the top to the bottom, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th box where you see there's 3 things like written in this box. That is the cause of death. Okay. And the first one that's listed is sudden cardiac death. And the second one is cardiomyopathy, which is, from my understanding, now I'm not a medical provider. I don't hold a medical degree, but just by looking it up, it said disease of the heart muscle. It's cardiomyopathy. And then the third one was coronary artery disease, and short term is CAD. And then down below, there is, I can't tell what the small like print that's on the actual document is, but it says that she's diabetic and that she had renal insufficiency as well, I guess. Because like I said, I can't see the actual print on the document to tell what that exactly is. But this is a copy of Emma Petrie's death certificate, and it's a natural death. Dee Dee was not responsible for her mother's demise. And Kristy, you need to be ashamed of yourself for saying that on national television. So here in this next clip, Kristy said Dee Dee loved her mom, which I truly believe she did. It was stated that Dee Dee took it hard when she lost her mom, and I don't see Dee Dee hurting her mom. And of course, that is just my opinion.
I'm gonna go backwards with you, because you were actually there, okay, when the conning and everything started. Do you think that, I'm talking about with Dee Dee in the beginning, do you think it was because she snapped after Emma Lloyd's passed?
God, I think about that because, look, Dee Dee loved her mom. But what I think, the happier Rod and I were, the sicker Gypsy got. Dee Dee had an arrest warrant out on her till Claude went to the police station and let them know she passed away for fraud.
We took that as an opportunity, as a new beginning. But if she was making Gypsy sicker because you and Rod were happier, that doesn't explain what happened in Missouri at
And
all.
it doesn't explain the facts that the hospital visits lessened after the microdeletion was detected.
Did y'all see on the hospital visits and the special notes and a lot of them that said that Rod and Kristy were not allowed?
Yeah.
I was like, dang. You know?
Well, why didn't Rod go to court and demand visitation and demand access to what you thought was your sick child?
Yeah. This is, I mean, we've talked about that, and every time you get into an argument, Rod had to, like, Kristy, please stop. She'd bring him to court. He's like, Kristy, for the love of God, quit arguing with her. She brings him to court every time. And it's for petty shit. Petty stuff she'd bring him to court for. He didn't get a Band-Aid.
So you notice how Kristy states that the more her and Rod were happy, Gypsy got sicker, insinuating that Dee Dee was making Gypsy sick because her and Rod were happy. I'm so happy Hello Starlight was on the panel because she called her out on that. Dee Dee was not making Gypsy sick, just for the record, okay? So then she states Dee Dee had an arrest warrant at the time of her death for fraud in Louisiana and that her dad told them she was deceased. I'm not quite sure what the hell that had to do with the price of tea in China. I mean, does that justify Dee Dee being brutally murdered, that she had a arrest warrant at the time of her death, or what? I mean, I don't understand what that had anything to do with anything. So then she proceeds to say that the medical records had notes in them that told them not to give information to Rod and Kristy. So then someone asked why Rod never tried to sue or take Dee Dee to court. And you heard Kristy's reasoning. She didn't have reason to why Rod didn't try to take Dee Dee to court. In fact, he was mad that Kristy was arguing with Dee Dee because apparently Dee Dee would take him to court, which I don't really believe that either. Because I've read I've read the prison emails, but I've read some of the Facebook messages, and I haven't read them all. There were hundreds of pages of Facebook messages and, going back and forth between Rod and Dee Dee and Kristy and Dee Dee. And I haven't had a chance to read them yet, but it surely, they sounded like they were on good terms to me anyway. And so, speaking of Facebook messages, this is from the Snow Gypsy Facebook account, or whatever it was called. So these are Facebook messages between Dee Dee and Rod from the Snow Gypsy Blanchard account, dated February through April 2013. Okay. So the recipient is Rod, and this is from Dee Dee, and it's February 8th, 2013. She said, "Hey, Rod, it's income tax time. I'm going Saturday to do mine. You still want to claim Gyp? I can pick up the paper while I have mine done. It's up to you. Just let me know. How is everybody? Also, what is Grandpa Rod's address? Gyp made him a painting. We hope he feels better. I will talk to you later. We hope y'all are enjoying Mardi Gras. We each have a necklace and we wear them pretty much all the time to keep in the spirit. Love y'all. Hugs from the north." So then Rod replies back to Snow Gypsy Blanchard, which is Dee Dee. "Hey, thanks. We're good too. Same old stuff. Yes, please send tax paper and I'll send the money like we usually do. My dad gets his mail at my house. Tell her thank you for the paintings. Miss y'all too. Did you have a chance to look at calendar? We're definitely planning to come up for a visit. Let me know. Hug from the South. LOL." So then she replies back, no, excuse me. Rod sends her a message. Rod sends Dee Dee a message, March 14th, 2013. Hi, got the tax paper. Thanks. Any chance to check calendar? We're looking at coming. Visit July 27th, 28th. Any recommendation on local hotels? Hope y'all doing good. Miss y'all. Okay. So that was part of the conversation. Then we have, it looks like, from Rod to Dee Dee on April 16th, 2013. Okay, we're planning to come up there on July 24th, so check your calendar. And Dee Dee replies back to Rod on April 16th, 2013. Will do. The only reason we won't be here is if Gyp's health or doctor. Is the trip handicap accessible? Do you need doctor's notes for any arrangements? Can't wait to see y'all. Rod replies back, no, they'll be out of school. We can't wait either. Dee Dee replies back to Rod, April 16, 2013. I mean, for the cabin or the activities for Gyp. Rod replies back to Dee Dee, April 16, 2013. I'm confused, LOL. I'll call you when get into doc later this week. So, poor old Dee Dee here thought Rod wanted to take Gypsy on vacation with the family. Okay. And this kind of struck me as odd because I've heard for 10 years that Dee Dee, I've heard from Kristy and Rod that Dee Dee wouldn't let Gypsy out of her sight, that Dee Dee had her thumb down on Gypsy. And so here, Dee Dee was asking if she needed any doctor's notes or anything like that for Gypsy because she thought Rod was going to take her on vacation with them. So here we have from Rod to Dee Dee, April 16th, 2013. I'm confused. LOL. I'll call you when we get into the doc later this week. So Dee Dee replies back to Rod, April 16th, 2013. Okay, no problem. I just thought you wanted Gyp to go with you on vacation. If not, just let me know. It's all right. Hugs. Rod replies back, April 16th, 2013. Well, I'd like that, but logistically, it's very difficult. It would be better if we just come there and do stuff close to your place. We're going first to Tennessee, then Missouri, then home. A big triangle, unless you could drive to meet us in Tennessee. So here, Rod's basically telling Dee Dee, no, I don't want to take Gypsy with me on vacation. I don't want that responsibility. That's basically what he's saying. And I have a feeling that's why we didn't go to court and try to get any kind of, he didn't try to fight for his rights for Gypsy. He didn't care that she moved to Missouri, and he didn't care about that. And Kristy surely didn't want the responsibility. I firmly believe, how could you sit there, knowing that Dee Dee asked you if you want to take Gypsy on vacation? You said no. You said logistically that would just be too difficult. And then you go on national television talking about Dee Dee wouldn't let Gypsy out of her sight. She controlled every aspect of Gypsy. Really? Really? Because this message right here at the very bottom of this page, to me, that says something different. Okay, no problem. I just thought you wanted Gyp to go with you on vacation. Well, I'd like that, but logistically, it's very difficult. All righty then. So here is a clip of Kristy talking about when Gypsy was still missing right there after the murder.
She would never wanted to go back. She said, I thought she was in a field somewhere and they left her to die because all her wheelchairs were accounted for. And I'm like,
Wait, what?
Wait a minute.
The day that she went, the day we got the call that she went missing. And I'm freaking out because all her wheelchairs, they said, were there. And I'm like, oh my God, they brought her in the woods somewhere and they left her to die or they're torturing her. I'm thinking the worst. And then I'm like, oh my God, when they find her, how am I going to take care of her? Because Dee Dee took such good care of her.
No,
You know, that was my mindset. I was terrified.
Now, listening to that clip, I could take it one of two ways. I could take it to where she was like, oh, I just don't know how I'm going to take care of her, you know, because like she said, Dee Dee took such good care of her. And I'm just, I don't, you know, I've never had to do this before. And so I could kind of understand her stressing about that. But when I listened to this clip, I took it to mean that she was scared to death of the thought of having to take care of Gypsy. Like, you know, I don't want to take care of her. I mean, Rod was always gone. He's offshore all the time. And Kristy had 2 kids of her own to take care of. I mean, I truly don't believe they wanted the responsibility of Gypsy. You know, let's say she was truly sick or what have you. I really don't think they wanted the responsibility. I mean, you guys let me know what you guys think. You know, what do you hear when you listen to this clip? Do you think I'm on point or do you think I'm way off? Q. You tell me what you guys think. So this is one more clip of Kristy never talking bad about Dee Dee.
She told me that she was a groupie for a Great White. And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, I was in the thank you. It's a twice bitten.
Once bitten, twice
Once
shy.
been, twice shot, yeah.
Alex said that
I'm
in
a
the
Gen
thank you,
Xer, so I know that song.
Yeah.
like that they thanked her in there. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, so they were thanking you for being on your knees a lot, you know?
Right,
that
but
was
to her,
Really, Kristy? Every time I've heard you open your mouth about Dee Dee, you've been disgusting. There was absolutely no reason for you to say something like that. Dee Dee is dead. Do you not understand that? She's dead. I mean, you, Bree, Gypsy, do you not comprehend that Dee Dee is dead? She was brutally murdered in her bed in the middle of the night while she was laying on her stomach. It wasn't like Gypsy had to fight for her life to get out of that house. Dee Dee was sleeping and she was brutally murdered at about 2:15, 2:30 in the morning. She was brutally murdered, and you say something like this about that woman. I mean, you're surely entitled to feel the way you do about her, but do you have any couth about you? This next clip is of Bree talking about Dee Dee trying to open a credit card up in her mother's name, in Dee Dee's mother's name.
When Dee Dee and them moved out, they found out that Dee Dee was trying to get a credit card in her mother's name that was very elderly, and luckily it didn't work.
they caught her.
Tried conning her, yes, and
Her.
yep, and yep, and that's just, and y'all, and this is just off the top of my head. That's why it infuriates me. Like, you don't have to think that Dee Dee died in the right way, but to say that she was, like, to say it was just so easy. Gypsy was literally.
Bree, what does that have to do with Munchausen's or abuse? It doesn't. It infuriates me when people say idiotic shit like that, trying to justify Dee Dee being brutally murdered in her bed while she slept on her belly. That's what infuriates me. In this next clip, Bree's talking about Dee Dee lying, and that's going to be Bree's next video.
I cannot not move on without finally, we always talk about the things that people think Gypsy lied about. No, I'm going to make a video telling every single lie Dee ever told. And I have this stuff hanging on my wall right now because I'm not serious about it, because after this, I'm done. And like, y'all should see the amount of papers I already have. And I have stacks and stacks and stacks to still go through. Like, it's...
Again, Bree, we know Dee lied. Do you honestly think whatever you have in your stack of papers will justify her being brutally murdered in her bed while she was laying on her belly in the middle of the night? There is nothing you can say that will justify this woman's brutal murder. Here is a clip that Bree says that Gypsy was honest with her attorneys.
Strong that they did not, they needed to be no stipulations. She didn't need to like give up anything. Like, I mean, they were both, after like Gypsy met with her lawyer and stuff. I know people think that only Nick was on. No, Gypsy told the same story to her lawyer. Like, once she had a lawyer, like the same thing that y'all hear, the story that we all know is the same story that they both told eventually. Now, did Gypsy try to, like most people do when they're guilty?
Now here's a clip of Gypsy giving an interview for Mommy, Dad, and Dearest, July 5th, 2016.
This is actually kind of the first time I've been honest. Besides being honest, with my attorneys. Even that, I haven't been completely honest with them. So.
How would you?
Bree, your girl states right here that she wasn't completely honest with her attorneys. She gave this interview right after accepting her plea deal. When you blatantly lie to people, how is anyone supposed to take you serious? This is why it's important that you familiarize yourself with everything in this case if you truly want to defend her. This is a clip of Bree stating that the abuse Gypsy suffered and stated that Gypsy was stunned.
In order to get a plea deal, you have to show factual basis. They don't just like give plea deals. Like, oh, we're gonna nail Nick to the cross, so we want to give her a plea deal. No, they didn't know what was gonna happen with Nick yet. This was in 2016. It wasn't until 2018 or the end of 2017. I'm forgetting, one of those two. But anyways, so in 2016, like Mike gathered this stuff together, and it wasn't just medical. There was abuse of there was proof of abuse through isolation. There was proof through medical. There was proof through emotional, mental, stunting her as like, she was 20 something years old, and she, like, her mind at that time was definitely nowhere near that, because her mom stunted her in that way because of the way that she raised her and made her act and do things. So they had to prove all those things.
Oh yeah. Y'all want to see how stunned Gypsy was? Let's see how stunned Gypsy was, y'all.
For my perfect, brilliant Joker true love. Well,
let me remind you now, this is a clip from September 20th, 2014. Gypsy was 23 in this clip, pretending to be 19.
I bet you're up to something perfectly deviant. And if I know you, I know that you'll be planning to take over the world. Watch it burn. But you can't do it without me. That's why you and I make the perfect team. So when we're in person, when we're outside of this pathetic city, we are gonna cause a mayhem and destruction like nobody's ever seen. So, until then, I wait. See you around, Puddin'.
See you around, Puddin'. What do you guys think? Does she seem stunning to y'all? See you around, Puddin'. So here's a clip of Kristy claiming Gypsy was fragile back in the day. Let's listen to that.
Day.
I don't, when I look at Gypsy, I don't see that fragile girl that I saw, the first time after she was in Missouri arrested.
Even in the last 2 years, like the.
Y'all want to see that fragile girl that Kristy's talking about? Here's a clip of Gypsy dated February 21st, 2014. Now, here she's only 22 because her birthday is in July. So she's 22, pretending to be 18.
I'll do and say and speak and practically be your little puppet. And we'll have a very good time together. I was enjoying that little thing we had going earlier. Hopefully, maybe one day we can do that in person. I know that we've talked, and at times I could be a little bit stubborn, but hey, you'll get to love that in time. Maybe in time you might get rid of that part of me. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. What else? Oh, right. About adoring you. I think that you're the most sexiest, hot, I want to fuck you till your ears bleed kind of guy. And I will. So, to you, I pledge my life, my love, my admiration, and my everlasting enslavement to you.
Wow. Oh, she's so fragile. She's just so fragile there, isn't she? Y'all think she's fragile? Kristy, are you real? I mean, are you for real right now about her being fragile back then? There was nothing fragile about Gypsy. She might have been scared of going to jail when you were talking to her on her jailhouse calls and all that. I mean, I'm sure she was scared about being in jail. I mean, who wouldn't be? But I wouldn't call her fragile. That's one thing I wouldn't call her. That's the last thing I would call her. Now, I'm not sure who this person is in this clip that's talking to Bree. But she's telling Bree that people can change.
I just hope that that people realize that people can change.
Yeah, thanks for saying that, because that is something that's important for people to realize.
I'm being serious. Like, people can change,
Yeah. If she's talking about Gypsy, y'all want to see how Gypsy's changed in 10 years? Let's see how Gypsy's changed in 10 years. So I'm sure you guys recognize these shots. This is Gypsy in 2015. The one on the right is actually the one of her from the day she was arrested. Okay, and then the one on the left is her mugshot from when she was extradited back to Greene County, Missouri. Okay, so that's 2015. This is 2026. These photos I pulled from either a current live or a current post that she had posted, and these are just recent. I mean, I don't know. Looks pretty similar to me. What do y'all think? I mean, she's got a little bit of style to her hair, but that's about the only difference between the look from 2015 to 2026. And so here, this is from 2014 to 2015. And here we have from top, on the top, from left to right, we have Kitty, we have Ruby, we have Candy, and the bottom two are Harley Quinn. Okay. this was in 2025. Somewhere I want to say about summer 2025. And so here we have on top, from left to right, we have Skip. She's imitating Skip. The middle, Sweet as Honey. And the far right one on top is Amber J. The bottom two, the bottom left is Keish, and then the bottom right is Nina, the beauty influencer. So yeah, she's really changed. I see a big difference, yeah. And so here is a clip that I put together from 2014. This is a clip I put together, the 2 dances that she did for Nick.
Some nights I wish they just fall off, but I still wake up. I still see your ghost. Oh Lord, I still. Wake me up if I should drift away. Still not sure what I stand for. What do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights.
So here is a clip that she put together herself doing these dances in 2025.
Flyest shit, I'ma be the flyest chick. I'ma be spreading my wings, I'ma be doing my thing. Do it. Advance to the past and all my bad decisions. I ain't ever looking back. I'm just saying good. I'ma toot that ass, toot that ass. If you a ball player, I'm tryna recruit that ass. Said I taste like ice cream, he wanna scoop that ass. Turn around, do the brown, Uncle Luke that ass. They shooting. I made.
And she's really changed, hasn't she? I mean, she's so different. She's about as night as day. I almost didn't recognize her. Come on now. That crew over there thinks we are dumb and blind. I mean, really. I don't really care about Bree's court case. But I do care that Bree and Kristy wanted to sit up on that live panel and disparage that deputy by saying the whole report was wrong. I took offense for that deputy. I'm sure it wasn't the deputy's first rodeo. I'm sure he has a lot of stuff thrown at him with people trying to get out of tickets or from being arrested. That's quite normal. What this reminded me of was Gypsy sitting on national television disparaging her mom and the medical providers. Again, I really could care less what goes on with Bree's court case. I'm not trying to be mean, but when it comes to my vision, she is she is irrelevant. All I care to do is expose Gypsy and put the truth out there about this case. That is my main goal. It's not about exposing Gypsy. If it's not about exposing Gypsy in the case file, then it's a distraction to me. When it comes to Dee Dee, I've never said that she was an innocent in this con. Regarding this case, she's innocent because the accusations against Dee Dee were Munchausen's by proxy and abuse. If you believe her story, Gypsy's story, then of course you think she was abused. But see, I don't believe her story. Her story was nothing more than a story. It's a defense, and I will say that until I'm blue in the face. Researching this case and the evidence in this case, I've come across more evidence that Dee Dee was abused. I've not seen anything in the Facebook messages, text messages, or videos from Gypsy to Nick suggesting any kind of abuse. Bree, you want to focus on Dee Dee being a liar. I find that comical because your friend is a liar and you praise her. You make excuses for her. You just can't wait to do a video about a woman that was brutally murdered because you can prove she's a liar. Does her being a liar justify being brutally murdered? Does her trying to open a credit card up in someone else's name justify her being brutally murdered? Now, this is going to be a trigger warning for you guys because, you know, I get sick and tired of these people talking about Dee Dee like she was killed in a car accident. Okay? Again, this is a trigger warning, just in case. It's nothing too graphic, but if you think you might be upset, please just kind of turn away for a second. This is what she caused, Bree. This woman was brutally murdered while she slept in her bed in the middle of the night. She wasn't doing anything. It wasn't a life or death situation. Gypsy wasn't having to actually physically defend herself at this very moment. This woman was asleep on her stomach in the middle of the night, and she was brutally murdered. Dee Dee didn't deserve this, Bree. If anything, she deserved her day in court to answer the allegations that were made against her. But Gypsy took it upon herself to be judge, jury, and Nick was the executioner. We have said she was a liar and a scammer, but she didn't deserve to be brutally murdered for that. Your girl accused her of Munchausen's and abuse. Those were the accusations made against Dee Dee. These are the accusations that Dee Dee lost her life over, Bree, not lying and conning. I believe with all the evidence that's come out, we have proved your girl's narrative was a lie. Instead of just owning that, you want to degrade a woman that brutally lost her life and a young man that will never get out of prison. He is there for the rest of his life for what he did, Bree. People are pissed off at your girl because she's a liar and a manipulator. She lied about why she killed her mom, and then she continues to berate her. What do you guys think about all this? I mean, to mention that my intro, I meant to mention that my intro was Bree telling everyone to be cautious of what content creators they follow and listen to. That's actually very good advice, by the way. Some content creators just cannot tell the truth, even with the truth right there in their face. Bree isn't telling the truth about how her situation went down, and we all know this. She can't tell the truth because I believe it would upset Kristy. It would definitely upset Mia. She doesn't want to be a part of the circus. Mia's, never wanted to be a part of the circus. She said, not my monkeys, not my circus. Bree wouldn't be so defensive if she truly had nothing to worry about, or that is my opinion anyway. I mean, then you have to look at Kristy blindly defending Bree because Kristy wasn't there. She wasn't there right when Bree was pulled over. Kristy showed up after Bree had already been detained. She didn't get to see or talk to Bree. So how could she know what Bree told the deputy? I mean, this proves that Kristy is willing to defend whoever in her circle, regardless of how stupid it makes her look. I mean, y'all be sure to let me know what you think. Am I on point or am I off cue? You tell me. I mean, I know many of you know just as much as I do and what's going on in this community. So you tell me if I'm on point or if I'm off, or if I have anything incorrect. You guys let me know. As always, I appreciate all your support. Without you guys, I wouldn't have a channel. So thank you. If you like the content, please be sure to like and share the video. It helps my channel out. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already done so. So again, thank you all, and I hope you all have a nice evening.
Cha-cha. Amazing, because I don't know this dance. I don't know this dance. What are you doing? Ow! Wow, that was really loud. Gotta remember, we're not at Vision Con. You make me say,